Hey friends, let's come into child's pose. We'll move through a nice restful and digestive practice. You can place a block or a blanket underneath your hips or maybe under your forehead. Just allow everything to relax down to your mat. Continue to breathe as we rise up, keeping our feet and knees where they are. We're going to bring the left palm to the center of the mat. Radiate the right fingertips up to the sky. Maybe twist the wrist out one way and then the other before threading the needle, crossing it under through the left side and allowing the right shoulder to rest on your mat. You're welcome to extend the left arm overhead and really breathe and relax into this pose. This is a great shoulder opener and twist for your spine. Inhale, come back out of the pose, planting left palm, extending the right arm up again. Then replace the left palm with the right, and we'll radiate the left fingertips up toward the sky, twisting out your wrist before threading the needle on this side. Allow the shoulder to relax down into the mat, extending the right arm overhead, and continue to breathe. To come out, we'll plant the right palm at the center of the mat, inhaling and extending the left fingertips to the sky before planting both palms shoulder distance apart, really anchoring through each fingertip, spreading the fingers wide. And this time we'll bring the knees underneath your hips and your ankles in line with your knees. Coming to all four. Really press up out of your shoulders. And then we'll start moving through cat-cow, relaxing the belly to your mat. As you bring the top of your head and your tailbone up toward the sky. Take a few cycles of breath here. Before exhaling, arcing the spine up toward the sky this time, really engaging and pressing the air out of your abdomen, tucking the top of the head towards your mat. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Now move through these two postures, just flowing as you feel your body would like to experience these poses. You're welcome to sway the hips side to side. And then we'll curl the toes under, really engaging through the core as we press up and back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet, keeping the head in line with the arms, really pressing up and out of the shoulders. engaging through those lower abdominal muscles. As we come to a place of stillness, we'll extend the right leg up and back into three-legged dog, keeping the big toe pointed down toward your mat. This allows the hips to stay square. Just holding and breathing here for a moment before pulling it all the way into the chest. We'll plant the right foot in between the palms, drop the back knee, untuck the back toes. Get anchored here. Really think about pulling the front of the mat back with your front foot and the back of the mat forward with your back knee. Another modified way to do this, if you are unable to do downward facing dog right now, is to stay on all fours and extend the right leg out and then come into this crescent lunge posture. Think about pulling back through the right hip as you press the left hip forward instead of allowing the hips to collapse forward. Really think about engaging, like I said, pulling the front of the mat back with your front foot and the back knee pulling the back of the mat forward. Tuck the tailbone and engage through the core. Drop the palms to your mat and we'll move into a runner's stretch, allowing our hips to sink back toward our back heel. We're not going to allow the left hip to come over past the left leg, but instead keeping it in line with the left heel. Keep a slight bend in the front knee. Continue to breathe. The medicine, the action is within the breath. It's what allows energy, oxygen, healing to flow throughout the body. Let's inhale and come back to the crescent lunge, keeping the left palm planted in line with the right arch. Let's move into a twist, planting the left palm next to the right arch, radiating energy all the way up through the right fingertips. Continue to breathe, continuing to engage through our front and back legs. And exhale, we'll come back to center. Bring the right knee back in line with the left knee. You can either cross the ankles and we'll move through a cobra and back up to downward facing dog, or you're welcome to come up to plank and move through chaturanga to cobra, untucking the toes, really anchoring down into your mat through your pubic bone. Bring the palms in line with your rib cage. And then we'll inhale, lifting the head, the chest up off the mat. We're not pushing through our palms, we're engaging through our back and core. And we'll do this 3 times, moving with our breath, allowing the breath to create a wave through our spine. Tuck your toes, press back up to your knees and hands, or maybe press all the way back up into downward facing dog. Let's move through the same flow on the left side now. Inhaling the left leg back and up. Of course, you're welcome to stay on all fours and extend the left leg out. But if you're ready for a little more heat, a little more intensity, let's go into 3-legged dog and bring the left knee into your chest. Plant the left foot in between the palms. Uncurl the back toes And once again, let's create that engagement through the front and back legs, really pulling the left hip back as we press the right hip forward. Tuck your tailbone, engage upward current of energy through the front body and downward current of energy through the back body. Breathe. You're welcome to press into the top of that front leg for more stability, more engagement. And then exhale, plant the palms. We'll move into a rounder stretch on this side now. Sink the hips back. Keep a slight bend or maybe a deep bend in the left leg, flexing the left toes back toward you. Make sure that you're not allowing that right hip to fall off to the right side of the mat, but instead keeping it in line with your right heel. Come back up and we'll move into a twist. Plant the right palm in line with the left arch. Imagine that you're pulling a bow back. Radiate the fingertips up toward the sky. Smile. Embrace the healing that you're bringing to your body today. Breathe deeply into your abdomen. Then exhale. Come back to center. Bring both knees back together. And we'll move through our flow. Coming forward, chaturanga to cobra. And we'll do a few waves of the spine here. Inhaling, coming up to cobra. And exhaling back down. Using that ujjayi, ocean breath. Tuck the toes under. And we'll press up back into downward facing dog. Sink the heels down to your mat. You can always keep a bend in the knees, either slight or maybe a generous bend. This will take pressure off your lower back. There's no such thing as perfect yoga or a perfect yoga body. Every body is perfect in yoga. Find the medicine here that suits you as you relax the knees down to the mat and sit on your heels. Once again, you're welcome to bring a blanket or a block in between your heels to rest your hips on. Just take a moment here to rest, tuck the pelvis, place the palms on your lap, and breathe. Maybe go through a checklist right now, examining the different areas of your body, working from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes, finding gratitude. Let's come back up onto all fours. Swing the legs to one side or the other, and we'll come to sit on our mat. Extend your legs out in front of you. If you're having a hard time sitting up here, once again, place a blanket or a block underneath your hip bones. This is staff pose. Inhale the arms up overhead, and with a generous bend in your knees, or maybe a slight bend, we'll fold Maybe you can only clasp your thighs or your shins, or maybe you've been practicing for a while and you have space to move in, grasping for your toes. If you're extra flexible and you need a little more, you can always place a block beyond your feet. Inhale, come back up. We'll bring the right heel in to the left thigh. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, we'll reach for the left toes. If you want to create an even more restoring posture here, place a blanket or a pillow on top of your left thigh. And then take a nap here. Make sure you keep a bend in your left knee. There's no bonus points here for hyperextending the knees or putting too much pressure on your ligaments. Let's take care of them. Come back up. And we'll move to the other side, pulling the left heel in this time. Inhale up and exhale over the right leg. Once again, make sure you keep a bend in that knee. This takes pressure off your lower back as well. So if you're feeling a lot of tension in your lower back, keeping your knees bent at any of these folding postures will really help bring length and healing to that area. Continue to breathe here. Once again, the medicine is in the breath. Inhale, we'll come back up. And maybe you want to just take a pause here. Bend the knees, just chill out. Or if you're ready, you can come down onto your back. Put both heels on the floor, knees bent. And we'll move into a figure four, reclined figure four. So extend the right leg up and then cross the right ankle over the left thigh, just above your left knee. Kick off with your left foot, clasp behind the left thigh. Maybe rotate left ankle one way and then the other. If you need a little deeper stretch, you can use the right elbow to press against your right leg to create a little more tension here. A little deeper stretch. Inhaling, full deep breath. And then as you exhale, we'll move into a twist, allowing the right foot to drop over to the left, staying in this figure four. Maybe you clasp the right ankle with your left hand, extending the right arm out. Continue to focus on creating that tension, that stretch, by pressing the right knee away from you. And then inhale, come back to center. And exhale, drop the left foot down, and we'll move to the other side, extending the left leg up. And then relaxing it, bringing the left ankle just above the right knee. Clasp behind the right thigh. And find a little deeper stretch here, maybe pressing with the left elbow against your left thigh. Be sure to flex the right toes back toward you and the left toes back toward you. This is going to help protect your knees, keeping that engagement of all the beautiful little muscles. Inhale and exhale, moving into your twist, allowing the legs to fall over to the right this time, planting the left sole of your foot on the floor or on the ground. Continue to press away from your body with your left knee. This will help create a much deeper stretch and greater engagement. This is a great stretch for your spine. We'll inhale, come back to center, and uncross the leg. Bring both soles of the feet down on your mat. We'll move into a bridge pose. The heels up until they're just below the fingertips. And we'll rise up one vertebrae at a time, lifting our hips, really tucking the pelvis. We're not gripping or squeezing the glutes. Just think about sending the tailbone down toward the knees. Lift the chest up to the chin and the chin up to the sky. Maybe take a bind, rolling the shoulder blades under your back, clasping the palms underneath your booty on the mat. Incorporating the breath once more, if you've forgotten. Unclasp the palms, one vertebrae at a time. Release, lowering the back and the booty all the way to the mat. Do a couple of pelvic tilts here, tilting the pelvis forward and back. And then we'll kick off the feet, clasp around the shins, and just pull the legs into the chest. Maybe you're round into a ball, knees to forehead, and then release, clasping the knees, allowing the low back to become flush with the mat. You can move into happy baby here, or maybe reclined cobbler's pose. Happy baby, you'll clasp the outer edges of the feet, pulling the knees down to your sides. And maybe grabbing for the feet isn't within your body's wheelhouse right now. That's totally fine. Just do your best to reach for those feet, bringing the legs as close to this posture as you can. Maybe rock side to side, and then release the feet to your mat. We'll move into reclined cobbler's pose, bringing the shoulder blades together and down, relaxing the arms to your sides. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees wide. And breathe. You are welcome to stay in reclined cobbler's pose, or you can extend both legs out, allowing them to rest. Inhaling deeply the nutrients, the medicine of this practice, and exhaling, releasing everything that does not serve you, and sinking more deeply, more fully into your mat and into this moment. Please spend as much time as you are able to be in this space. If you need to get up and move on with your day, let's start to bring a little awareness back to our body, wiggling our fingertips and toes, maybe taking a full body stretch. Bring the palms together at your forehead. Express gratitude. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.